Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends. I'm your host, Ray Shasho. When a group like RPWL takes on a theme for an album, it can usually be assumed that this eclectic quartet will dive deep, very deep, into the chosen spectrum and illuminate it from all possible perspectives. Then, as with past concept albums such as Tales from Outer Space, the largest possible carpet is rolled out and the compositions go hand in hand with Yogi Lang's carefully written as well as musically set lyrics to be finally presented, arranged, and performed from one cast. On the new long player Crime Scene, this Bavarian Artrock institution directs its attention to the morbid, the perverse, the evil and good, the abysses of the human behavior spectrum in all its unpredictable diversity, which sometimes comes across as bizarrely disturbing and conclusive if one tries to fathom it. Progressive German rock group RPWL have announced a new album titled Crime Scene, due out on March 17th. You can pre-order the album now at www.gentleartofmusic.com. Victim of Desire is the first single and video of their upcoming album Crime Scene, which is out now, and you can watch it on YouTube or listen on any streaming platform. Please welcome back to Interviewing the Legends, lead singer, songwriter, keyboardist for German progressive rockers RPWL, Yogi Lang. Hello, Yogi.
Hey, thank you very much for inviting me.
It's always a pleasure to have you, man. Okay, we got to discuss each track of this new album.
Wow. Okay.
It's a great album. Okay, first of all, it's a little strange, of course, the concept, a little different, but you guys are always different anyway. Of course, evil forms one of the core themes on Crime Scene. Let's see now. Where should we start? First of all, there's a couple of subjects and there's kind of a disturbed people that are kind of involved in some of these tracks. It's Carl. Do you pronounce his name Denke?
Yeah.
Who was a cannibal?
He was. Man, there were really. These were. I mean, we had a couple of strange cases and bizarre cases, but okay, of course, we tried to find some really, how should I say, disturbing crime cases, scary ones, but also with a big question mark, where you just ask yourself, how could this happen, or what did happen to this man? And so we always try to get a bit further to the to the core of what's behind those stories, and also, as you said, it's not only a set of cases on Crime Scene, but we also try to get further to the question of, let me say, good and bad, and how we get to this, to the state of being bad. What's the story behind it? Is there just a person who got something that is bad and you just can see it, as we tried, I think in the beginning of the last century, they gathered together pictures of bad people trying to find something in common,
Right.
if there's something you could see about. I mean, we are in the modern world, and so we know already that it's just it's a complete story. It's a story of how you socialized. It's a story of what happened to you, and so I think this is the interesting thing behind it. And so we try to divide the stories into real cases where this big question mark is, how could this happen? And how you said with Karl Denke, that was a cannibal here, or in the third song that is called Cold Spring in 22. Yeah, and he come around with more, yeah, let's say a bit darker
Right.
ideas. Maybe that's it's also because of the times we have here. You know, we
Hmm.
in Europe just having a war in front of our doors and in front of our door, and yeah, and so and I had the idea about this. Yeah, I had this in mind for a couple of years, but when I heard the first musical ideas, I thought, hey, this can grow together. And more than I had the feeling with the last album, with this album, I had the feeling even that music and lyric just grew together and made themselves even more. The music tried to do it to bring the idea forward, and then the lyrics came, and yeah, it really grew together. It was cool.
Yeah. I want to mention to the audience, Karl Denke was a German serial killer and cannibal. He killed and cannibalized dozens of homeless vagrants
Yeah,
and travelers from 1903 to 1924. And he's often regarded as the forgotten cannibal.
yeah, but
Another, go ahead. Mhm.
yeah, but it's the point is that makes it so scary or so interesting for the album is that even the whole village couldn't believe um, that this caring and devout citizen that they thought he is
Right.
just could do those things. So till the end, they didn't believe that he really was a murderer.
Hmm.
So it's and so this is, yeah, again, this, can you see it in his eyes that he
Yeah.
is bad, or
Right.
don't you? So it's yeah, this is, yeah, this interesting thing that is behind this case.
It is. It's an interesting concept. And a lot of people that, live next to guys like that. Oh, he was such a nice guy.
Yeah,
He gave my kid candy. It's always stories like that.
yeah,
This is going to blow you away. You got Karl Denke and you got Karl Tanzler. Okay.
yes,
Now, Karl, who was also German born,
yeah. I'm
radiology
so sorry.
technologist, he developed an obsession with a young Cuban American. Of course, I'm half Cuban. Okay. A tuberculosis patient. Now, after she died, he dug her up and lived with her corpse for many, many years until they found out. Now, this will blow you away because Karl lived about 20 minutes from me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, north, about 20 minutes from me.
Okay.
So we have something in common here.
Yeah,
That's another strange case, huh?
it is. And I mean, he couldn't get. He thought of her as the love of his life,
Right.
and he couldn't get over her death. So I mean, this is. I mean, I can follow up to this thing, but anything that happened afterwards is. I think he installed a telephone at her grave that if she wakes up, she can call him, and
Wow.
every day he walked there and show, and until the end. I mean, he lived. I think he lived with the corpse for 6 years or something,
Hmm.
and her sister was. She called the police and said something is strange, and they came, and until, I mean, even when the police came in, he just stood at her bed
Hmm.
and waited for, because he thought when the police comes, she will wake up.
Right.
I mean, it's, yeah, it is really strange. I
Very
mean, the
bizarre.
interesting thing is what I mean, I don't think that we are all, maybe this thing comes up when maybe there is something, some fate that just makes your
Hmm.
brain just click.
Sure. And all
I
in
don't
all of
know.
us. Yeah, in all of us,
Yeah,
something can happen. It's interesting. I don't think he got prosecuted. I think they kind of felt sorry for him or something, you know?
yeah. I mean, you can see it as a big love story
Exactly.
for
Exactly.
sure. And this is I mean, this is the reason why the song is so, when you call, is sweet. It's
Hmm.
a sweet song, because I also felt sorry for him, because just thinking about your love being dead is such a sad thing,
It is.
Nevertheless, what happens afterwards, but it's, yeah.
I saw the pictures though. She didn't look, I mean, she
Mm,
looked like a dummy, you know. It didn't not even close, you know.
yeah. He
Yeah,
tried to keep her fresh, so it's, yeah,
right.
it's, yeah, yeah, it went out bizarre, yeah.
Very bizarre. Maybe he should have stuffed her or something, you know.
Ugh.
Now I think secretly you want to be some kind of detective, right? CSI, Law and Order. I think you like that kind of thing because also on your website, all you guys are wearing guns and you have bulletproof vests on.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to, and it's because we thought of, it's a good thing to the first song is always a bit, to bring you into the story,
Right.
and so we thought that doing a video for the first song is also a good idea to bring people to the story, and we tried to, yeah, not only put ourselves into the world of a serial killer, but also into the world of trying to trying to get him,
Hmm. Yeah.
and so it's, yeah, it was a kind of, it was an interesting journey, let me say it that way, because we worked together with real police
Oh, did you
and
really?
with, yeah,
Really?
yeah, yeah. We did, and it was interesting to have a look in their world. So it's, yeah, it was kind of a real experience.
You know, in Europe, for some reason, you always notice the German police in TV shows and things like that. They must have a good police. Is that true? Do they in Germany?
Oh, that's hard to answer, because I mean, it's I remember when we played in the US, I had a talk with a guy that said it's so, um, it's, in many things it's so easy to handle things in a country that is so small,
Right.
because we have many Germanys. That is what he
Uh,
said.
yeah.
And I even, it's like, I don't wanna get into a weapon discussion, but I can truly follow the thought of having one
Hmm.
when somewhere around 100 miles is nothing,
Yeah.
because here, you go out of the door and you can, yeah, uh, there will be some police in between a mile or something,
Right.
so it's everything is, it's, I mean, it's really different. So the police here is, let me say, maybe that's, it's very close to the people.
Hmm.
So
That's good. That's a good thing. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good thing. Victim of Desire is a good video, by the way. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoy it. Yeah. Did a great job on that. Um, that one's about a serial killer who kills women due to suffering inflicted on him in the past.
Yeah.
And yeah, it reminds me of a Law and Order episode or CSI, or it's really cool. I bet you enjoy doing that.
Yeah, we really enjoyed. As I said, it was a real experience.
Yeah, it's a great video. I really like it. Of course, you got elements of your Pink Floyd-ish sound and a couple of these tracks. You know, like Red Rose. That's another good song. A little bit of Pink Floyd sounding in that, which I love. That's what attracted me to you guys in the first place.
Well,
You
thank you.
know, your Pink Floyd kind of background. Um, a cold spring day in Life in a Cage. Explain Life in a Cage. Talk about that song.
Yeah, it was really interesting. The idea came up when during my research for the album, because it's even there are two things.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing is that always thinking about crime, and we in Germany we have unfortunately always this discussion about foreign people doing more crime than German people, and all this
Right.
maybe kind of this it's the same in the US, I think.
Right.
But the real thing is that 80% of all crimes are permitted by male persons. So maybe we just it was just the wrong question that we asked, because that was kind of disturbing. That this is like we're having a problem of how should I say, toxic masculinity more than any other of the problems. So it's and even in that research, I found out that again, something that I thought it gets better over the years because we are more educated, and I think that our maybe our whatever, I thought it was wrong, because every third day, I think, a woman is killed.
Right.
By not always by her man, but in the family. So and this is an increasing thing.
Yep.
It's not decreasing. It's not getting less. It's getting more. And so was really disturbing. And I thought it is worth doing a song about it. That it's that the problem we have is not. It's maybe not a social issue. It's not a cultural issue. It's not religion. It's not immigrants. It's a problem of toxic masculinity in our society.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, I wasn't. If I'm just telling that, maybe all the listeners say, "Yeah, I know it. It's nothing new."
Right.
But if you read it, and you're just thinking about so many things, and then it's brought down in a very easy thing. The harder the crime gets, the bizarrer it gets, the more is it a male issue.
Right.
So it's and so I thought it is really worth doing a song about that about a woman that is trying to get out of this cage that her husband built for her to keep her away from the world outside, and she's trying to break free, but she can't.
Yeah,
which is which is really the kind of part of a disturbing reality that is happening every day. Yeah, it's. As I said, in this case, I always thought things getting better, but they don't.
They're not getting better. Not at all. There's always the first thing the police always look for is a motive. Sometimes there isn't a motive. There is no motive. Some things just happen in their brain, and boom. I don't know if
all the motives are hidden. So it's always this is the interesting thing. Yeah, this is the interesting thing of the story behind all things, and what's really behind it. It's not. Sometimes it's not very obvious.
It's never obvious. Lately, it isn't. Very sad. You know, in cases of suicide, it's more obvious later after they kill themselves, you know, like bullying. Bullying in schools are the worst, one of the
Oh.
worst here in the US. It's so
Mhm.
sad, you know, kids killing themselves in high school because they got bullied, you know.
Oh. Mhm.
That's horrible. My favorite song on the album is King of the World.
Ah, really?
Oh yeah.
Ah, okay. King of the World was when we were trying to get to dig deeper into this good and bad thing,
Hmm.
because the really interesting thing, or many interesting things, but one of the interesting things is that even if you can do, how should I say, you can do really terrible things with having good intentions.
Right. Right.
So what would you do if you were king of the world?
Hmm.
And it would always, I mean, it may sound good, but it would always end in a kind of a kind of, yeah, you are ruling. And so what happens is it's just the utopia of one person.
Hmm.
And yeah, this is, yeah, a sad thing, because when you really want to dig into the history of um, having the best intentions doing terrible things, you just have to dig into the into religion or something.
Right.
It's always yeah, maybe this King of the World, um, I think the result of King of the World is that maybe we have to wait for another million years till mankind is able to, because some things really have to change. It's not maybe this having a good world, if I yeah, a good world is not in our DNA.
I don't think so.
So it's
Thanks to Adam and Eve.
yeah, yeah,
They screwed it up really fast, didn't they?
yeah. Because if you want, if you feel, as a kid, as a kid, I always thought if I was king,
Hmm.
I would do everything.
Sure.
Yeah, I only do good things,
Right.
and even that will end up in the kind of a totalitarian structure,
Right.
because that is what it is to be king of the world. And
Sure.
this is, yeah, the song even makes me sorry,
Hmm.
and but it's yeah, it's part of our life, part of our
Exactly.
being, if you want
Yeah,
to.
it is. Like you
Yeah,
said, it's in our DNA. We can't help it.
yeah.
You know?
So
Yeah.
this is exactly that, what you said is what the song is about.
We got the angel and the little devil here, and they're both fighting each other. And the
Yeah, it
devil
is.
wins a lot.
It is. Yeah.
You know, the music in that is
There's no real answer to it.
no,
Yeah.
no, I know. Well, I'm glad you experimented with this concept in this album, though. It's brilliant, you
Yeah,
know?
it's something, you know, it's even more than in all the other things. It's nothing where you get an answer out.
Yeah,
It's just it's everybody is invited to question everything,
sure.
and to ask a lot of things
Hmm.
that are behind it. So it's so easy to say, yeah, just this is a bad guy, just get him into jail.
Right,
So
right,
this is the easy way.
right.
And but sometimes it's really worth
Hmm.
to dig into the story and to find out what is happening, not only in these bizarre cases
Hmm.
about living with a corpse, even this whole family that was killed around the corner here. They
Ooh,
never solved the case till now. It's
yeah,
just it's unsolved.
yeah.
and they there was 6 persons, and they cut the head off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but the police did it. The police afterwards cut the head off to bring in. Oh, you have to help me. How is it called in English when you have a someone foreseeing things by touching?
Okay.
Yeah, and so to find out what happened, they took off the head and sent them to a guy that,
Right.
by touching the heads, could say what happened. So
Huh.
it's really yeah, crime cases just 100 years ago are bizarre anyway,
Very bizarre. Yeah.
because it's the beginning of getting deeper into finding out what happened, and the beginning of this whole thing that you really want to find out. I mean, it's the beginning of police work, if you want so,
Yeah.
at that time. So, and yeah, it's interesting anyway to dig into the historic thing of crime.
It is interesting. I watch all
Yeah,
those shows. I watch Law and Order. I watch all the
yeah.
Law and Orders. I watch them all. They're like you said, they're very interesting, you know,
It is.
from
Yeah,
beginning to the end to find out, you know, the whole,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, and a couple of those stories are, of course, taken from real cases.
Yes.
So,
Right.
I mean, even when you look at those, at these Karl Tanzler or Karl Denke or whatever, it's I mean, you couldn't think of such a story. It's just yeah. Take what it's you can do. I mean, there are a lot of series that really take the historic cases, aren't
Right.
they? Yeah.
It's
So
it's it's a scary world. It really is.
it is, yeah. I mean, we open a scary book of the world, you have to say.
Exactly.
I mean, there's enough nice things in the world happening. So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah. But this was
we
your
won't get.
turn
Yeah, we
to
shouldn't
open
get
the
too
book.
dark. Yeah, we shouldn't get too dark.
You know, King of the World has some great music in it. I mean, you got excellent guitar work, and the bass reminded me of Chris Squire a little bit. You know, kind of a Chris Squire feeling to it on the bass.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
We are so happy that we have a new bass player on board,
Yep. He's
Markus
good.
Grützner,
He's very
and
good.
we did a couple of concerts already with him, and it was really, really great. I mean, it was great with the whole band, but it was great having a bass player on board that
Yep.
really understands the music and adds the space feeling to it, as you said.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I like
this
his
is cool.
style a lot. I really
Yeah.
do. Well, yeah, you end the album with Another Life Beyond Control. A great intro. The song is kind of reminiscent of 60s rock groups. I really, you know, takes you back a little bit, which I like. And again, Callie does great guitar work on this track.
Yeah, I also think so. It
Yeah.
was a very basic. It was. I mean, it. When he came with this idea, I really thought of this Karl Denke thing, because it's of this yeah, of this man in that was kind of a bad guy in disguise, you know, of this normal citizen that people thought he was, and this idea is so, yeah, it has such a simple key to had such a simple key to me. You know, when Kalle played this riff, it was just the song. It
Hmm.
finished.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was a great working on this song.
Did they find out a motive for Denke? Why did he go after like homeless vagrants and travelers and things like that? Did they find out why why he went after those types of people?
No,
No,
they
they did
never
not.
find out. No, because he when they caught him, they
Hmm.
put him in a jail,
Hmm.
and the first night I think he committed suicide,
That's right. I did
and
read that.
yeah, and yeah.
Uh, well, every time I
But
go ahead.
but let me say, um, it was a dark time after it's been around this decade of First World War
Right.
here in Europe, and this must have been in all the things I when I read about this crime things and about from this time, it was a really dark time that even with um, um, I don't think that you get out of a war with a healthy mind. You know what
Hmm.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think those were very hard times, and even with us here living in this, yeah, it's kind of a is it a golden decade? Is this a decade of freedom? And I'm not used to any to any to do harm to people or something. It's such a liberated, good world we're living in,
Yeah.
compared to those times. So I think it's when people doing those things, you have to see it in this kind of decade that it was, in this dark times, in this. So it's maybe not that they found it not that cruel that we find it in our times,
Hmm.
with being safe and secure in where we live.
Yeah.
So it's,
Mm.
yeah.
That thanks to you now, when I go north around Tampa, I'm going to think of Tansler. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot, Yogi.
think of think of the love story. Think
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
the
love
love story.
story.
Yeah, that's not that
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he ate her or anything.
Yeah.
It's a love story. You're right. And she had, well, what I understand, I don't know if it's true or not. Did he actually poison her because she was dying? Did you hear that one?
No, I
No,
didn't hear.
I did. I dug deeper
Really?
into this,
Okay.
and that was one of the things they were saying, that he might have poisoned her because she
Oh
was
my
dying,
God.
to put her out of her misery. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I guess back then they couldn't cure tuberculosis. It's a
Yeah.
bad thing.
Even they never found out if he was really a radiologist or not.
Oh, okay.
So this was just what he said, but they had no. I mean, even it was the beginning of police work, but it also was the beginning of real of this kind of radiologist,
Right.
and having this modern this modern way of finding out what, or of caring. This was not. Yeah, they even had no radiologists, so it was
Hmm.
Karl Tänzler who said, "I am."
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, when you dig into these stories, you always find bizarre things.
Yes.
So it's really worth.
Yeah.
So if
It
people are
is interesting. Yeah.
really interested in those cases, dig
Yep.
into, and just that. I mean, there are a lot of more
Yeah.
cases that are really interesting, but it's, yeah.
And then you get into the conspiracy theories as well, you know?
Oh God.
Those are fun. Those are kind of fun.
Yeah.
I just want to mention Callie, your guitar player, put out a studio album. It's called Voices,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got a single out called Three. That's the
Mm-hmm.
first single of the studio album. I
Mm-hmm.
heard the single, and I'm going to listen to the album. The single's great. He did a good job
Yeah,
on
it
the
is
album.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. You got a gem there for a guitar player. He's excellent. He's really good.
Yeah.
You got a great band.
Yeah.
You really do. Um, let's see. I want to mention, of course, the General Art of Music. That's you guys' record label,
Mm-hmm.
and the label stands for High Class Music in Rock, which I love. You got a lot of other artists on the label that which is keeping you busy. Very
Yeah, at the
busy,
moment we're producing just a new album for
right?
Subsignal,
Okay, Subsignal,
and
right?
yeah, and there's new stuff coming from Sylvan, so it's yeah, we're always busy,
Yeah.
if you want so. Yeah.
How difficult is it to run a record label, to have a record label?
It's maybe I mean it's complicated, but
Right.
it's if you're working in this only prog rock, only jazz,
Mm-hmm.
only this kind of rock music, only heavy stuff, then it's a bit easier because you really know where to go. And I think I really think that times of the big of the big record labels is over,
Right.
because it's yeah, maybe this of course you have this people listen to radio
Mm-hmm.
and all this stuff, but it's even for rock music there are so many really cool record labels,
Mm-hmm.
little record labels that are really caring about their artists,
Exactly.
not only you know our the first thing that has to be there is good music for
Mm-hmm.
us. The first thing for a record label when you run you know is that the money comes around.
Right.
So it's I mean I don't want to, this is not a bad thing, but it's it's a totally other working. It's another you have to pay attention to other things, not only to the music. So
Right.
we try to help bands, we try to produce, we try to record, we try to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
We try to make an album happen. And the second thing is trying to get it out to the people, and of course trying to earn money with the artists, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the first thing you have in mind. It's just the thing. It's the second thing you have in mind.
Right.
To get the third thing doing again what you going back to point one,
Mm-hmm.
that this will happen. So
Right.
it's yeah. And when you get that, when you're in the circle with not too many bands, but with a couple of bands,
Yep.
then it's working, even here. So it's we have at the moment we have a good time with
Mm-hmm.
really good music and good artists, and so everything is really cool.
That's the difference with you guys and the music industry, the current state of the music industry. You love and care about the music. You know, the most of the people now in the industry, they don't care about the music. They just see dollar signs, whatever they think is going to sell, you know, and which is sad because it didn't used to be like that, you know.
Yeah.
There were actually people that cared about the music, you know, all the great pioneers, you know. So
yeah, this is really the big danger, that you're losing focus on
Hmm.
what the business is really about.
Right.
So I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong about earning money, but you just need people doing their music. You need the bands. Uh, you need the yeah. This was the business makes um, makes it happen.
Hmm.
It's the music and not the. Here in Germany, all the big, yeah, not all of them, but many big labels, they just forgot about doing music.
Right.
So it was everything was only was just about making money,
Yeah.
and so even the people on the positions of those who had to decide what to sign,
Hmm.
what to release, hadn't any clue about music.
Yeah. It's
So
sad. Really is sad.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh, I mean it's sad, but not for a long time because it
Yeah.
was obvious that
Hmm.
this won't work. So it's even good that we can exist in our little world
Hmm.
in this little system, and
Right.
yeah, this is makes it's a lot of fun, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Sure. There's so many good prog bands nowadays, you
Yeah.
know, and I like you guys. I love talking to you and bringing you your thoughts to America, and I promote the hell out of you guys here in the United States. And there's so many. I do because I love the band, and who else is going to do it? Really, right? The American radio is not going to play you guys. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, and I do the same thing with bands from Norway, from all over the world. I bring them in, we do this Zoom interview and I promote the hell out of them because it's good
Mm.
music. It's exactly what you're doing. I'm doing it my way on the radio. It's the same thing because I want to keep the good music alive, man. you
Yeah.
know, it's good stuff. It really is. You guys have always put out great music videos. And I give you a lot of credit for that. You put a lot of hard work into your music videos. I'm going to mention "In Your Dreams" is still huge. I mean that song. I don't know how many times I've heard it on Moro.com, which I listen to a lot because
Okay.
they play a lot of new music, a lot of new prog music, and they play that song over and over and over again. But "A New World," "Unchain the Earth," "Light of the World," "What I Really Need," "Somewhere in Between," "Hole in the Sky." You guys have put out so many good videos, and I give you a lot of credit for
Thank you.
that. You guys are
Thank you.
awesome. You really are. Um, by the way, I did talk to Guy Pratt. I had him on the
Ah,
show.
okay.
Good guy, really good guy. I know you've had
Yeah,
Guy
he is.
on a few albums.
Hmm.
And for people that don't know, Guy was in Pink Floyd. He was the bass player that replaced Roger Waters. Are you still talking to Guy? Are you going to put him on future albums again? What do you think?
Um, I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah,
He was in Munich with Nick Mason,
Nick Mason.
but
Yeah,
I wasn't here, so it's
right.
I hadn't the chance to meet him. So
He's a funny guy.
he is. Yeah, yeah, he is. He is, and a
a, lot
great
of,
bass player,
a lot of
of
people
course.
don't know he's a comedian too. He does
He
stand up
is. Yeah, yeah,
comedy.
yeah.
um, touring. What's next?
Mhm. Yeah, coming up is the crime scene tour that
Right.
will start end of March and end of April, and is leading us through yeah, Europe, and yeah, we're really looking forward because it's one thing to play it in the studio, it's one thing to release an album,
Yeah.
but the other thing is presenting it to the people, being
Yeah.
on stage and playing there. And this is yeah, I don't know what we enjoy most. because I really love being in the studio. I love mixing the album. I love releasing the album and present it to the people. But we all also love being on stage and playing. So it will be a lot of fun.
And you guys are incredible live. You're an excellent, excellent live band.
Thank you.
Any chance you're going to come to America?
If there is a chance, we will come. But it's
I'd love to see you guys. Do I have to come to Europe to see you? I may have to.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You never know.
Will there be another solo album coming out by you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure. Kali will do another one, me doing another one. So it's, but we have to, of course, now we have to finish all the things about crime scene.
Right.
Doing the tour. And last thing we did was doing the Atmos mixes for the, I think Dolby Atmos is Apple Music, for the Apple Music platform.
Okay.
And yeah, and now the tour, and then we'll see what's coming up.
The album, I gave it 5 stars, as usual. It's a great album. You guys, you know, you never disappoint. I always look forward to a new album by you guys. You guys are great. And I really mean that. Yogi, thank you so much for being on the show again, man. I appreciate it. Good to see you. You're looking good. You're looking great. Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
And keep signing new bands and existing bands and do what you do best.
Thank you very much. And
right,
hope
Yogi.
to see you in the US someday.
One day, yeah. I hope.
Yeah.
I'll come see you for sure. You can count on that. Take care, Yogi.
Thank you.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.